Howdy, Nerdy Romantics. Well, this is a little bit of a mini review, but really it's more of this is what you're going to see on our Thunderbolts episode of our podcast. So, mini review is basically about Superman and Lois, our podcast that just came out as of this recording, Superman and Lois Season 4 review. I was actually on that podcast and trying to talk about or trying to figure out where Superman and Lois actually fit in the CW Arrowverse, how that fits in, and where that works in the multiverse, in the DC multiverse there that CW created. And as I thought about that, and as I've gone back and, rewatched that, I realized that now since I've watched Thunderbolts, that there may be some of you out there that are Marvel Cinematic Universe fans, MCU fans, or that are superhero fans that may not necessarily be comic book fans. And maybe by being MCU fans in the past few years, you may have gotten a little bit weary of how everybody connects. And maybe that is why viewer numbers were down a little bit for the theater for MCU. I have other reasons why, but this may be a factor or a part of that, is that people did not exactly know everybody in Thunderbolts and didn't understand how they all fit in together, or what does Thunderbolts have to do with, say, Iron Man? What do these heroes have to do with what I saw in the first movies, or the first what they call the Infinity Saga, the first series of movies for the MCU? What do Thunderbolts have to do with anything? And how many movies and TV shows do I have to watch to understand who these people are? So I did actually write that down. I did go through and try to figure all that out, and I may have missed some of those. So my guest host will hopefully cover for me in that respect. But we will go over that in the Thunderbolts review episode, and we will try not to spoil it, even though we do spoil a lot of stuff. But we'll try not to spoil it for those of you who want to see Thunderbolts, but maybe are feeling a little bit like, OMG, what am I about to get myself into, and do I know what I'm going to watch? Also, if for some reason you may be missing Nerdy Romantics podcast because of the nerdy factor, I come from a standpoint of I do recognize that superhero movies, TV shows, animated series are from, a lot of them are from comic books. The ones that we talk about are from comic books. However, I'm not a comic book reader, and I was not a comic book reader, a graphic novel comic book reader when I was growing up. I recognize those as canon, but I don't have the comic book knowledge that maybe others have. So our show doesn't go into a lot of the comic book stuff that it could go into if we were all comic book readers. So do not fear. We are accessible to you, the fearful the fearful superhero fan that may not be a comic book reader. You can listen or watch Nerdy Romantics podcast and get something out of it, because that's how we approach it. So I hope you enjoy Superman and Lois Season 4 review episode, and that you are subscribed so that you will get our Thunderbolts episode when it drops.